this session. You guys have already taken your first step towards liberation, towards financial planning. Overall, this is the first step to attending these sessions is not easy. I know after a long day of work. So congratulations for all to all those people. So we'll be talking about one startup, one SME company today. So this will give you an insight on what kind of returns we can expect in this counter, and how much money is there to be made in this counter. So I'll talk in detail. The speech will be around for 20 to 25 minutes, and I'll be happy to take up questions in this counter after the presentation. So you can keep on sharing your Q&A questions in the chat box, and then I'll take it up at the end, so that in single go we can take up the queries. So just before we start, so I'm Rajesh Singla. I'm founder of Planify. So we work with B Invest. B Invest is one of our premium partners, where we help B Invest and its investors to invest in startups, pre-IPOs, MSMEs, and unicorns. So our main focus has always been to invest in private markets. The number one reason for that is we are able to invest at a lower valuation. Means that 10 rupees thing is a 10 rupee thing is available at 4 rupee, 5 rupees at a much discounted valuation in the private markets. And once these shares get listed, once the IPO comes for these shares are generally, these startups or SME companies generally gets oversubscribed, and there is a lot of euphoria, as well as there is, because IPO generally comes at a good market sentiment. At that point of time, we are generally making an exit. And overall, what we have realized and seen is that we are able to get, like, overall a 10 rupee thing gets valued at 30 to 35 rupees at the IPO time. Means they generally get quite overvalued, and that is a very good.
Sir,
That is a
then it is very uh, most achievable, not most achievable.
uh,
Mr. Rajesh, you can unmute yourself. I've muted all.
yeah.
Yeah.
So so in private markets, as I was saying, that we generally get counters which are undervalued. Means that 10 rupee things we are able to invest at a cheaper valuation of, let's say, 3 rupees, 4 rupees, 5 rupees. And whenever these companies are getting listed, we tend to make an exit. At these time, generally shares gets overvalued. IPOs are generally overvalued. So at that point of time, this 10 rupee things generally become 30 to 35 rupees, and we make handsome gains. Like we are able to make returns in the tune of 250% to 2000%. That kind of returns we have made in our investments. So in totality, we have made 31 successful exits so far. If someone would have invested 10 lakh rupees in these 31 companies, the total corpus of that investment is close to, so the total investment will become 3 crore 10 lakh. And the total amount, this 3 crore 10 lakh has become today is close to 17 crores. So overall, investors have gained very handsome returns. The return is almost close to 600% in absolute terms. And in terms of CAGR returns, it is close to 117%. That is really phenomenal. Hana? Even if we compare this, even if we compare this with any other asset class, for an example, if you compare it with a fixed deposit or a bond or a NCD, you generally get a returns of anywhere between 6 to 10%. And at max, if the rating of the bond is low, you can get a return of 10 to 12%. So mostly the fixed returns are in the tune of between 6 to 12%, whereas in mutual funds are able to give a return of anywhere between 10 to 15% in a longer run. And the listed stock market is somewhere people are able to get 12 to 18% of return in a long run, if they are able to invest in good counters, do their portfolio allocations well, so they are able to generate anywhere between 12 to 18%. But I'm not talking about 12 to 18%. I'm not. So we are very happy if we are making more than 26%. So if we are making more than 26% return every year, in 3 years' time, our money gets doubled. So if we are doing that for 30 years, our 10 lakh rupees investment will become 100 crores. So the 3 year span means you have got 10 slots, and 2 raised to power 10 is close to 1024 times, so which is close to 1000 times. So a 10 lakh rupees investment will become eventually 100 crores, means a 10 lakh in 3 years will become 20 lakh. In 6 years, it will 40 lakh. So and so forth. I'll request everyone to be on mute. Uh, I'll take up the question Q&A afterwards. If you have Q&A, if you think you'll forget the question, you can put that in the chat box. In the end, I'll cover that up. So again, before coming to the startup, I'm just trying to emphasize what kind of returns we can make. So we are very happy if we are able to generate more than 26%. But with the God grace, the kind of research we are able to do, and the kind of companies we are able to bring in last 5.5 years, we are able to generate the returns in the tune of 117%. And that's the power of private markets, where you generally are able to generate extremely good returns, uh, because of the same thing that share you are able to invest in companies at an undervaluation counters. These companies are mostly high growth companies. And once the IPO comes, we try to make an exit. This is typically how big investors or HNI investors work. है ना? So we believe in the same philosophy and we follow the same. So 117% CAGR returns is something which we have able to generate with these 31 exits. So today I'll be talking about, so this is a brief about why you should think seriously about angel investment, why you think you should take this asset class to be in your portfolio, why we cannot ignore this asset class. Even on an average, even if we do not talk about Planify, like even if we talk about startups in totality, the overall CAGR returns for angel investments and SME is close to 34%, which is the highest among all the asset classes. Like even if you compare it with mutual funds, listed stocks, gold, real estate, bonds, fixed deposits, anything, even if you compare it with, even with the Bitcoin and all, you will realize that the best returns, best return asset classes in private markets, and that too in angel investment. And that is that is the reason why we strongly believe that people should invest a portion of their portfolio, a portion of their money into this private markets. And generally, we tend to say that people should invest anywhere between 10 to 25% of their corpus. So if I have, let's say, 1 crore of portfolio, so we will generally suggest our investors that they should invest anywhere between 10 lakh to 25 lakh in the private markets. 75% they can keep for the liquid asset classes like mutual funds, like listed stocks and bonds or fixed deposits. The other 25% they should keep it for private markets, because here the room for appreciation is quite healthy. Now let's talk about today's opportunity. So today we have VCI Chemicals. So we did a presentation a week back also, and we got an extremely good response. In fact, a lot of investors were B Invest was not able, a lot of investors couldn't attend that session, and they wanted to do, they wanted to have us again back for this session. So I'm back again presenting the VCI Chemicals. So basically, it's a specialty chemical company. Now, what's interesting about specialty chemical? In India, if you talk about any specialty chemical in India, be it Deepak Nitrate, Himadri Chemicals, you name any specialty chemical in India, not even a single company in the complete sector has made a loss in any quarter in the last 15 years. That's the kind of sector we are talking about. So in India, after oil, The second most thing which we import after oil, crude oil, is basically specialty chemical. Uh, so basically, again, there is a very huge demand and supply gap. The demand is, if 100 rupees, the supply is not even worth of 5 rupees. That kind of demand and supply gap is present in India right now. And the product which this specialty chemical VCI is able to produce, that is CTP. So right now across the world, there is a shortage of 5.8 lakh, 5.8 lakh MTPA, metric ton per annum. Shortage of CTP product is there across the world. And after VCI will be able to set up their complete unit, once they start producing enough in phase 2, so they will be producing anywhere between close to 2.2 lakh metric ton per annum CTP, and still there will be a shortage of close to 3.6 lakh MTPA. So overall, as I said, the demand is extremely high and the supply is negligible. The another reason why there is such a demand supply gap, because this is a very complicated industry. This is not some industry like cotton, like clothing industry or food industry, where every Tom, Dick and Harry could come in and basically start their business. Here you need to be really the technology which is being used in these specialty chemicals are extremely complicated to understand. So the founder of VCA Chemical is a chemical engineer, and he has done it from VIT Vellore in South. It's a good university. It's a very good university from where he has done his chemical engineering. So to understand these chemicals is not a cup of tea for everyone. So in general, the entry barrier to this business is very high. So whenever you get a good business which has got a good entry barrier, that means you will not get multiple competitors. Like people will not every second day there will be another company standing up and trying to compete with the first company or the earlier companies. So that's the reason that these companies generally have very healthy margins, be it gross margins or net margins, and they are able to charge a premium because of this demand supply gap and because of the high entry barrier. So overall, once if someone makes an entry in this kind of a business, they're able to generate extremely good returns. Like from the founder perspective, this business is generates a good amount of cash flow because of the demand supply gap and the high entry barrier. Now, if I talk more about specifically about VCA, so this is the same problem which the founder saw, that there is a huge dependency on imports, that we are right now importing a lot and we are not able to produce CTP. And on the other side, there is such a huge requirement of CTP. Again, the entry barrier to the business is high. Even to set up these projects is not simple. Like overall, you need a capital of about 180 to 200 crores to set up this kind of a unit. And not every businessman can actually start a business with 200 crores of capital. So they were able to take it up because they had good backing. So the founder of this company is from Vikrant Group. So Vikrant Group already produce Dr. Phenyl. This is again one of the chemicals which is produced. So Dr. Phenyl is basically nothing but they produce phenyl in two forms, in white phenyl as well as black phenyl, and this is being used in different toilet cleaners and different industries. And again, they have been doing this business from 1971. So this is another business which they are doing has been so this is the third generation business. His grandfather basically set this up, and still till date it is going very well. So that's another unit which they were already doing. So while they used to while they are thriving in their business, the one of the challenge which the founder saw was that it was very hard to get the raw materials to produce the naphthalene balls. So when he researched why he couldn't get, so there is such a acute shortage that even you cannot get the raw material in black. So and that too is even if you are trying to take it in black market, you are, even though you are paying a premium, you still are not able to get the delivery of the product. And that is where the founder got curious and he understood the complete whole supply chain of this business. He actually realized that this business generally do not. So one of the raw product which VCA is also going to produce is the raw material which is being used in the Dr. Phenyl brand as a raw material. So while he searched for it, he also understood that apart from his raw material, there are a lot of other raw materials in CTP which is not available, and that is where he understood that if he goes one leg before, like if he set up this VCA chemical and he start producing CTP, it's another ball game he can actually get into. And founder themselves are very, like, he has done a 5-year research before starting this business, and he has put in a lot of his blood, sweat and tears in this research to basically pinpoint and detail out each of the details. So the founders are from basically Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, but they have taken up the unit in Kalingnagar, Odisha. The reason behind taking up the unit in Kalingnagar, Odisha is that it's an industrial area. So this industrial area, all of your steel industries, a lot of your other specialty chemicals, everything is present in this area, like carbon, like coke, and all those things. So their raw material is getting procured in 12 kilometers, within 12 kilometers of the radius of Kalingnagar. So this is one of the reasons. So their logistics cost becomes very cheap. So one of their vendor is Tata Steel, from where they are importing the raw material. And it is the next, the Tata Steel's next project. So the land of Tata Steel and the land of VCA Chemical is adjacent to each other. So it's very close by. So they have procured a 34-acre land, and they have set up this unit in, they are setting up this unit in Kalingnagar, Odisha. So one of the reason, as I said, because it's an industrial area, their raw material cost of import becomes negligible. So this was the reason they picked it up. Another is Odisha is lot into like these kind of industries, steel industries and all, where they are able to generate a lot of they are able to give a lot of incentives to the founders as well as entrepreneurs, so that these people can come and set up their business. So this is the reason that they picked Odisha, Kalingnagar for their project. Even Kalingnagar is very well located. Like, this is very well connected with the port, which is run by Adani. It's 80 kilometers away from the port, and it is very well connected even with the highways as well as with the train network. So importing and exporting within India and outside India becomes very optimistic once because of the location of Kalinganagar. The second thing, so I talked about the logistics problem, obviously, and I talked about earlier that they will start producing close to 2.2 lakh MTPA uh, in their overall phase, couple of phases. So this is the best part about VCA. Like, before right now, the unit is getting commissioned. The unit is going to get set up by next coming Diwali, by 2024. And right now it is under commissioning. So in the first phase, already they have got 8-year long-term contracts with the vendors. Like, they have got contracts from Bahrain, UAE, Oman, Qatar, and even Saudi Arabia. So all these 5 countries, these are all the 5 companies which I have mentioned here: Elba, EGA, Sohar, Madain, and Katalam. These are all government-run organizations, and these basically produce aluminium. So they are aluminium smelter companies, and one of the raw product which they need to produce this aluminium is CTP. And CTP they are getting procured from VCI Chemical, and already they have got long-term agreements from all these 5 companies, and 87% of their top line is like fixed. So imagine any business, like right now you are setting up the business, and in that you already know that your sales for 8 years is already done. So that's the best part. Like even in phase one, phase two, like the phase two thing has been being done in long-term agreements. Again, the reason, as I said, because there is such a huge acute shortage that every company wants to procure as much as they can from wherever they can. So and this is this is a blessing in disguise for companies like VCI, where they know that they are getting long-term agreements. Their top line as well as bottom line is secured. Imagine any business. Uh, you don't need to actually do sales, everyday sales. You already know that whatever you are going to produce is it is going to get consumed by your five vendors. So this is, and these five vendors have very genuine authenticity, because these are again government organization running. So from that perspective, it's a very good position to be in from a founder's point of view. Now, if I talk about a bit more about CTP, so I'll not go into detail, but basically apart from CTP, they also produce a lot of distillates. Like there are different types of other products which VCA Chemical is going to produce, and one of the product which they will be producing is used as a raw material, which is going to be used to produce the naphthalene box, which I talked about. We'll go in detail. Like there is already another slide which talks about different kind of things which are going to produce, which is going to be produced in this plant, and 87% of this things which is going to get produced is already being sold to the companies. As I said, the main thing is this binder pitch, which we call it as CTP. Coming back, so again, as I said, their vendors are finalized. So they have got exclusive agreements with SR Steel, Tata Steel, NMDC, SAIL, Jindal Steel and Power, NINL, Vizag Steel, and these all units are present in Kalinganagar. This is the good part. So from a raw material point of view, they are safe. Like they will be able to get, so there is a surplus of raw material which is present for VCI, and the output which they are generating is again, as I said, they are into long-term agreements, so they will be able to get that sold to those five companies as and when they are able to start producing that. So overall, if we talk about their bottom lines and top lines, so VCI in first capacity, in first phase, they will be they'll start producing 1.1 lakh MTPA, and in second phase, as I said, that in the second phase they will start producing close to 2.2 lakh MTPA. So in first phase, they are going to start with 50% of it, like 1.1 lakh, and then eventually they will move on to become 2.2 lakh MTPA in phase two. Apart from VCA Chemical, there are only couple of companies in India which is producing the same product. So one is Himadri Chemical. This is a listed player. So they produce close to 4 lakh MTPA of CTP. And then there is Epsilon, which produce close to 2.2 lakh MTPA of this CTP. So as I said, because there is such a huge demand supply gap, there is enough room for the people to not fight with each other and enjoy the healthy margins. Good part is Himadri Chemical is being set up in West Bengal, and the founder basically it's a second generation run business. It is having a very good bottom line, like having 40-50 crores of profit, but basically the children who are running the business, they do not really have an interest in this business. It's just run in an automated mode. They are not thinking of expanding and all. And the same Epsilon, whatever they are producing, they are mostly using it for their own seed. Like whatever they produce, they use for their own consumption. So in next 5 years, what we overall see that VCI Chemical will be able to generate a profit of close to 35 crores. So this is close to for 3 years post they start commissioning. In 5 years, they will start producing close to 35 crores, and they get an incentive from the government of close to 10 crores. So they get a lot of incentives from state government of India, state government of Odisha. due to which we expect that their bottom line will be close to 45 crores. So even at a 20p, even if I give them a very conservative p of 20, so they will have a valuation of 900 crores, 900 to 1000 crores. And even today, the company is being valued at only close to 100 crores. So if today someone is investing at 100 crore valuation, obviously in 5 years tenure, if we are able to get 900 to 1000 crore valuation, means we are making 10 times of our investment, which is roughly equivalent to 1000% in 5 years, which is again equivalent to close to 200% every year. That's extremely good, Hana? From our perspective. So this is the reason we have invested heavily in this counter. We have 3 lakh shares of VCI, which we have invested for ourselves, and we will not be selling it for next like 5 to 7 years. At the time of listing, we might be making an exit. So, and if we talk about EBITDA margins, because they will be having a very low logistic cost and all, their margins are extremely high. Their gross margins are close to 12%. Their net margin will be close to 10%. Their return on equity is close to 23%, and their return on capital employed. Return on equity is the return you are able to produce for the shareholders. So 23%, and return on capital employed, which includes the debt part, is close to 24%, which is again extremely good from a sector point of view. Also, they are ahead in the sector. So, as I said, the company is right now being valued at 100 crores, and at a 1000 crore valuation, we have a upside of about 10 times, which is close to 1000%, which is close to 200%. So that kind of returns we do expect in this counter. So I'll not talk about the different products I already showcased there. So these are the 2 phases which I talked about, that this is the first and the second phase. They will be setting it up in next 5 years. The first phase is going to go live by the coming Diwali, the next Diwali, 2024. And as I have already talked about the logistics, that they are very well connected through ports, railways, as well as highways. So from that perspective, it's a good business to be in. Again, I talked about the competitive advantage. So from government of India, state government of Odisha, they get a lot of incentives. They get close to 10 crores of incentives. With logistics, we have already covered. Feedstock, again covered that they have long-term agreements with Tata Steel, SR Steel, all these steel companies, and they will be able to get their raw material within 12 kilometers of range. Most of it, that is the reason they have picked Kalingnagar. So this is the founder. This is one Odisha conclave where he was invited as a chief guest, one of the chief guests. The other gentlemen which you can see, one is Minister of MSME in Odisha, Pratap Kesari. And then we have here Rajiv Singhal with Tata Steel. And even there were like ArcelorMittal, everyone was present in this conclave. These are the subsidies which I talked about, they get. And in totality, they get the capital subsidy, tax subsidy, and power subsidy, which roughly equates to 10 crores per year, because they have set up their project in Odisha. So this is the land which they have procured. They have got a 34-acre land, and they can even they have the clause to extend that to even 54 acre if required. They have gotten principal approval from State Bank of India of 107 crores. Just few days back, I was talking to the founder, and he told that they State Bank of India have actually extended it to 116 crores now, although they are not going to use that limit. So that is one point which I want to cover. So 40 in this 185 crore. So the cost of the total setup of this project is close to 185 crore. And out of 185 crore, 145 crore is being done by the founders. So their skin in the game is extremely high. So they have put in 40 crores of their own investment, and 105 crore they have taken it from the banks as debt. So if you are getting a 105 crore of debt from any bank, you need to have at least 250 to 300 crores worth of assets. Then only you will get that kind of you need to have that kind of assets. Then only bank will fund you for a business. And bank will obviously see that you will be able to repay that or not. And they have got an approval for this specialty chemical business. And they have not only got it from State Bank of India, there is another bank which has also given them an approval. So that's a really healthy thing to see, that even banks are able to fund them, back them up in this project. We at Planify, we are putting in close to 20 crores, and another 21 crores have been invested by one of the investor from Dubai. So he has put in $2.5 million, and rest $2.5 million is something which we are doing. So this is about Vikrant Group. As I said, this is a 1971 they started properly, like overall that 1963 could be the founding year, and it's a business which is being run. So this is a third generation business which they are running for Dr. Phenyl. So they basically do white phenyl and black phenyl and cleaners, and they have the majority monopoly kind of a stake in Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Delhi, Delhi NCR, Rajasthan, even Jammu Kashmir. So in the northern states, they are quite strong. This is about the team. So the team here is quite technical. Shubham Gupta, as I said, he has got 10 years of experience in chemical engineering, has been running chemical run plants in his another business set of operations. That's kind of an automated business. The Mohit Pal is the GM sales. He has worked with the likes of HPCL, ONGC, and even with Himadri. He has worked for almost 17 years. Then he has also got VK Goel, a GM of finance, again part of 31 years of experience in working with Grasim as well as Aditya Birla Group. Also, they have Krishna Thakur. Again, this is the guy who basically helps in set up these kind of technologies. He has extremely good understanding about these kind of technologies. There are only two technology providers to set up VCI chemical. So the technology provider which they have selected is the same which has been used by Himadri Chemicals, as well as for which has been used by Epsilon. So they are also using the same thing. So right now, so this is the VCI deck. Like I think this is not exactly updated. So we do not have now 30 lakh shares. I think it is even less than 20 lakh shares which are available. So minimum investment is close to the share price is close to 35 rupee, and the minimum is 10,000 shares. So that kind of investment we can look at investing. Overall, if we talk about exit strategies, so in 5 years, we are expecting the share to get listed on the main board. So we will be getting this share listed on NSE or BSE. In 5 years, if there is another round of funding which is happening for phase two, we will give our investors an option to make an exit. If they want to make an exit, they can make an exit in the second round, which generally happens after 18. So anywhere between 18 to 36 months is somewhere company basically can look at doing the round of funding. But that's like not very sure, but that's the plan. And the third is obviously the buyback. If there, because of any reason, the IPO does not happen in 5 years, then at the end of 10 years, the company will buy back the shares at whatever the fair market value of those shares are. This is about those 5 companies. So this is the EGA plant, which is going to process VCI CTP product. This is about Elba, and that's pretty much it. Which we talked about. Again, guys, if we again have to sum up overall from that perspective, like if we are making an investment in this counter, this 3.5 lakh rupees, you can expect making a return of in the tunes of 25 to 30 lakhs. So from that perspective, it's a very good investment. But overall, you should think of investing it for 5 years. That should be overall your thought process. That if you are investing in this counter, that you should be invested it. You should invest it in for at least 5 years. Obviously, when we will make an exit, we will inform our investors as well as investors, so that they can make an exit along with us. That's pretty much from my side. I'll be happy to take up questions if there are any. Sapna ji, you can even share the form for the people to fill in.
Yeah, again, I would like to add that yes, the share price is 35 rupees, but for the B Invest investors, the share price has been discounted to 33 rupees. Am I right, Mr. Rajesh?
Right.
Yeah, so our lot is 10,000 and I'm just sharing the form. So it is 3,30,000 shares at minimum lot of 10,000 at price per share being 33 rupees. One lot, 3,30,000. I've shared the form and now we are opening the house for question and answers. So please feel free to check with Mr. Rajesh if you have any queries. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Do we have any queries? Is the form visible?
Yeah, hi Rajesh. I have one question.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Actually, I have one doubt. This is not listed company right now.
Right.
Okay. हम कैसा इन्वेस्ट करना है और उसका सिक्योरिटी कैसे रहता है?
Right. So the investment process is very simple, Ramanji. You need to have a demat account.
Yeah.
The process is similar how you invest in listed space. Generally, you give a margin to your stockbroker, and then stockbroker purchase you the shares through the app, or you call the dealer and purchase the shares. And after you purchase the shares get delivered to you in T+1 days, है ना? In transaction
Yeah.
plus 1 day.
Yeah.
Our process is a bit more automated. We are able to deliver the shares on the same day. So once you make the payment, we are able to deliver the shares in your demat on the same day.
बट कौन सा कंपनी का नाम से आता है वो शेयर्स?
VCI केमिकल के नाम से ही आएगा जी.
मतलब वो लिस्टेड नहीं है ना, वो कैसा आता है, वही मेरा डाउट है।
सर लिस्टेड और शेयर्स के डिमेटेरियलाइजेशन में कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है. अब
Okay.
जब भी एक कंपनी बनता है तो कंपनी बनते वक्त शेयर्स चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट सीए शेयर्स बेसिकली फिजिकल फॉर्म में इशू करता है.
Okay.
अब आप एज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जाकर उस शेयर्स को डिमेटेरियलाइज करवा सकते हैं. वो
Okay.
शेयर डिमेटेरियलाइज सीडीएसएल या एनएसडीएल पे होते हैं. गवर्नमेंट का रूल ये 1995 में आया था कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा कंपनीज को अपने शेयर डीमैट करवा कर रखने चाहिए, सो दैट फटने का डर, जैसे लाइक देयर इज नो फियर ऑफ गेटिंग टीयर अपार्ट, गेटिंग दीज शेयर गेटिंग स्टोलन और गेटिंग आप कहते हैं ना कि उसका डुप्लीकेट बन गया, तो वो फॉर्जरी वॉर्जरी वाला सारा कॉन्सेप्ट खत्म हो जाता है जब वो फिजिकल शेयर डीमैट में चले जाएं. तो
Okay.
उस वजह से बहुत कंपनी शेयर आज की डेट में डीमैट करवाने लगी हैं.
Okay.
और अगर वो शेयर डीमैट हो गए लिस्टिंग के बाद, बस फर्क क्या पड़ जाता है कि लिस्टिंग के बाद आप बायर को और सेलर को नहीं जानते. लाइक इफ यू आर अ बायर, यू डोंट नो कि कौन शेयर बेच रहा है, बट आप
हाँ.
शेयर खरीद सकते हैं ना बीएससी एनएससी पे. लिस्टिंग से बस
Okay.
वो फायदा मिल जाता है.
Okay. मतलब ये कब से शुरू हो जाएगा परचेज?
ये आज से स्टार्ट है.
2
Okay.
days from
Okay.
now, sir, Mr. Raman, 2 days from now, that is like we will not call 11th, 12th and 13th will be the days where you can make a token payment of 10% of the amount you are trying to invest. So
Okay.
for one lot, you will have to make a payment of 30,000 as advance. In case
Okay.
if you don't have a demat account also, you can still fill in the form and make the token advance payment to the account that we share with you. And we facilitate you the demat account opening also.
Okay. Okay. वन मोर डाउट मैम, वन मोर डाउट राजेश जी, मैं क्या
जी
बोल रहा हूँ अभी, मतलब आप वो 5 साल का मिनिमम ये बोल रहे हैं ना, अगर बीच
जी.
में अगर बेचना है तो कैसा बेचना है वो, अगर बहुत मुश्किल पड़ गया, जरूरत पड़ गया?
हाँ, ये बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है रमन जी. वही
हाँ.
इसका 3 तरीका होता है सेल करने का. फर्स्ट प्रोसेस होता है कि
हम्म.
आज हमने कंपनी को फंडिंग करी है, उसका नेक्स्ट राउंड जब भी फंडिंग का होगा तब इन शेयर्स को सेल किया जा सकता है.
ओके.
तो वो सेकेंड राउंड होगा. अगर आप उस वक्त पैसे की जरूरत है, हम अपने इन्वेस्टर्स को एग्जिट का बता देते हैं कि अगर किसी को एग्जिट करना है तो वो एग्जिट कर सकते हैं.
ओके. जब
तो
तक
वो
आप नहीं
जनवरी
बोल
के
सकते उस टाइम तक तो इंतजार करना है।
तब तक वेट करना है, हाँ। ठीक है।
ओके।
और ये फर्स्ट प्रोसेस हुआ। सेकंड प्रोसेस क्या हुआ कि कंपनी ने जाकर अपने आप को लिस्टिंग करवा लिया मेन बोर्ड पे, बीएसई और एनएससी पे, है ना, जो कि हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि हम 5 साल में शेयर को लिस्ट करवा देंगे।
ओके।
सबसे ज्यादा वैल्यू अनलॉकिंग होती है जब शेयर मेन बोर्ड पे लिस्ट होता है,
हाँ
या
जी।
मतलब, है ना, तो उस वक्त सबसे ज्यादा पैसा बनता है। और
हाँ।
तीसरा, तो कंपनी ने बोला कि 10 साल के बीच में अगर कोई भी रीजन की वजह से आईपीओ नहीं हुआ तो वो शेयर बायबैक कर लेंगे। 99.99% कंपनी लिस्टिंग लेकर आएगी, क्योंकि उनको पता है कि वो इन्वेस्टर्स को लेकर आ रही है, उनको एग्जिट भी चाहिए होगा।
ओके।
बट अगर किसी भी रीजन से नहीं हो पाता तो तीसरा ऑप्शन भी है। जब
ओके।
कंपनी अच्छा प्रॉफिट बनाने लग जाती है, जैसे मान लीजिए 50 करोड़, 70 करोड़, 100 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट बनाने लगे, तो कंपनी का सेकेंडरी सेल ऑफ शेयर भी हो जाता है। तो हमारे
ओके।
पास वो भी ऑप्शन होता है कि आपने एग्जिट किया और किसी और ने, इन्वेस्टर ने एंट्री करनी है, तो उन्होंने एंटर कर लिया।
ओके। मतलब
तो ये
ये जो है
ऑप्शन
अभी
है।
स्टार्टअप करने के लिए, कंपनी जो सेटअप करने के लिए फंडिंग चाहिए, उसी का वजह से ये ले रहे हैं।
राइट।
ओके।
185 करोड़ में से 145 करोड़ फाउंडर्स ने डाला है। हमने 21 करोड़ डाला, 20 करोड़ डाला है, और 20 करोड़ एक और दुबई के इन्वेस्टर ने डाला है।
ओके। ओके। ओके जी।
सपना जी, कुछ लोगों का कहना है कि उन आपकी वॉइस लो है, तो मैं
Yeah.
आपका पार्ट रिपीट कर दूं एक बार।
Ji, yeah, please go ahead.
तो गाइस, मिनिमम लॉट फॉर दिस इज 10,000 शेयर्स। ऑल्दो हमारा एवरेज टिकट इस काउंटर में 10 लाख का है, तो लोग आ रहे हैं तो हमारे पास जनरली 30,000 शेयर्स इन्वेस्ट के लिए इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, मतलब 10 लाख रुपए मोटा मोटा लगा रहे हैं। अगर मैं मिनिमम लॉट साइज की बात करूँ, वो तो 10,000 शेयर्स का है, शेयर प्राइस 33 रुपीज का है, तो ओवरऑल इन्वेस्टमेंट 3,30,000 रुपीज का हो गया। अगर आप इस काउंटर में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं या फिर इसके बारे में कोई और डिटेल्स जानना चाहते हैं, तो आपके साथ सपना जी ने एक फॉर्म शेयर किया है। इट विल टेक अ मिनट टू फिल इन दैट फॉर्म। आप वो फॉर्म पे अपनी डिटेल्स डाल दीजिए, एंड सपना जी की टीम आपके साथ एक बार कनेक्ट करके, अगर आपकी कोई डाउट्स वगैरह होंगे तो वो भी अलग से भी क्लियर कर देंगे, अदरवाइज आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट करवा देंगे। प्रोसेस बिल्कुल सिंपल है। 3,30,000 में से 30,000 रुपीज अभी आपको मतलब कल या परसों तक, टिल 13 सितंबर आपको डालना होगा, और नेक्स्ट 5 डेज में इन टोटलिटी आपको बाकी का 3 लाख डालना होगा। तो टोटल 3,30,000 हो गया। जैसे कि मैंने बताया कि हमारा एवरेज टिकट इसमें 30,000 शेयर्स का आ रहा है, 10 लाख रुपीज का आ रहा है। तो अगर आप 9,90,000 रुपीज का इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं तो 90,000 आपको टोकन डालना होगा, और 9 लाख रुपीज अगले 5 दिन में आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए डालना होगा।
So Rajesh ji, ये monitor कैसे कर सकते हैं? Since these are not listed, so how can we monitor the price of the shares? One of the investor is asking.
Right. So we do keep on updating our B invest investors ki what is the price which is going on. Obviously, you can even see it at Planify platform as well. तो वो जनरली हम अपने इन्वेस्टर्स, अपने पार्टनर्स को शेयर करते रहते हैं प्राइसेस, और वो आगे फर्दर इन्वेस्टर्स को शेयर करते रहते हैं।
Do we have
हम
any more?
आपके साथ इवन क्वार्टरली अपडेट्स भी शेयर करेंगे, जिसमें फाउंड मतलब कंपनी का एज अ बिजनेस क्या प्रोग्रेस हो रहा है, वो सब भी आपके पास मिलता रहेगा आपको।
So we've started receiving forms. Can I request the participants to please raise queries or fill up the form? Do we have any more queries? So I've shared the form link in the chat. Please fill the form. In case if you have joined the session late and you want to watch the recorded session, please fill the form. We will share. Our team will call you and they will help you with the recorded link. If you don't have DMAT account also, you can fill the form. We will help you facilitate the DMAT account opening as well.
Swapna ma'am, if you don't mind, I have one more question.
Please, sir, go ahead.
मैडम, बी इन्वेस्टमेंट से आपको मेरे को मैसेज आ रहा है आपसे मतलब उसका रिकॉर्ड में कुछ सेशन मिस हो गया, उसका बारे में कुछ पूछने के लिए किसका कांटेक्ट करना है करके मुझे पता नहीं हो रहा है। अपना जो रेगुलर एपिकाइन वाला जो सीएफएल जो रहता है अपना को, उनको
Sir,
बोल रहा है
this
तभी
is
उनको
good question, and I would like to address all the
because I
investors
am
on
not
this.
able to text the reply also from the
No,
group.
no, the person to from where you are getting this forwards of B Invest, you can DM to that particular number. That will be either my number or my colleague Deepika, who's directly helping me with the coordination of investors. So you
Okay.
can directly WhatsApp to our numbers. The person who's forwarding you the messages, you can directly DM to them. That is one
Okay.
of the ways of directly getting in touch. But
Okay.
ideally we don't entertain that many, because see, each group has n number of people, so we keep getting a
Yeah.
lot of text. So best
Uh,
way is to get directly, your
who want to?
requirement being answered.
Uh,
It is
uh,
advisable for you to fill up the form whenever there
yeah,
are sessions.
already I
Fill
will
up the
fill up.
form.
Already I will fill up and send it.
Yeah, right, sir.
Yeah.
I am in receipt of your form.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, sir. Do we have any more queries?
Can I left this session, madam?
You
Yes,
may,
sir.
Raman, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much for
madam.
participating, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we'll be ending the session in next 5 minutes. If there are any queries, anything that you would like to understand, please feel free to fill the form so that we can contact you in person tomorrow. I've shared the form link again in the group, in the chat box. I'm sorry. I hope I'm audible, Mr. Rajesh, now?
Yes,
Is
yes,
it better?
absolutely. Yeah, now it's clear.
So at 21:50, we will be ending this session.
As I said, guys, one of the investor has been pinged me. So overall, from an investment point of view, एंजल इन्वेस्टिंग का यही एक सबसे बड़ा है चीज आपको कि आपको एक 10 रुपए का काउंटर अंडर वैल्यूएशन पे मिल जाता है, 4 रुपए, 5 रुपए, 3 रुपए। और आईपीओ के टाइम पे वही काउंटर 10 रुपीज वाला 30-35 का होता है। मतलब मैं इसको बिल्कुल लेमन टर्म्स में बता रहा हूँ। और यही सेम फिलॉसफी को हम बिलीव करते हैं और इसी फिलॉसफी पे वर्क करते हुए अभी तक हमने 31 सक्सेसफुल एग्जिट्स किए हैं। इन 31 सक्सेसफुल एग्जिट्स में ओवरऑल अगर किसी ने 10-10 लाख रुपीज इन्वेस्ट किया हो तो 3 करोड़ 10 लाख आज टोटल 17 करोड़ की वैल्यूएशन लेकर बैठे हैं। तो विच इज अबाउट 600 टाइम्स 600% रिटर्न। और वो 600% रिटर्न का ईयरली CAGR रिटर्न 117% है। तो विच इज एक्सेप्शनली हाई। मतलब हमें खुद को लगता है कि मतलब टचवुड बिकॉज ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स लव, बिकॉज ऑफ वी बीइंग वेरी डिलीजेंट, वी आर एबल टू पिक वेरी गुड कंपनीज वेरी एट अ वेरी राइट टाइम, है ना। तो शेयर मार्केट का एक जो फंडामेंटल है कि व्हेन टू बाय, व्हेन टू व्हाट टू बाय, व्हेन टू बाय एंड व्हेन टू सेल, यही 3 चीजें हैं जो मैटर करती हैं कि क्या खरीदना है, कब खरीदना है और कब बेचना है। तो वो सही करते हुए हमने हमेशा से अच्छे, मतलब अभी तक 31 अच्छे कंपनीज में एग्जिट किया है। एंड वी हैव गॉट दिस काउंटर एंड वी रियली लाइक दैट। एंड वी ourselves have invested 3 lakh shares. We will be keeping it for ourselves, and rest we are investing through our investors as well as partners. तो ये एक अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी है जहां पर आप रिटर्न वाइज काफी अच्छा ओवरऑल रिटर्न, एक्स्ट्रॉर्डनरी रिटर्न बना सकते हैं। तो ओवरऑल आपका थॉट प्रोसेस होना चाहिए कि आप अगर आप 4-5 साल के लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं तो यहाँ पर अगर आप 10 लाख का इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं तो इट कैन एक्चुअली इवेंचुअली गिव यू अ 90 to 1 lakh 1 crore kind of a return also, which is like 9 times or a 10 times kind of a return। 1000% रिटर्न 5 years में ऑलमोस्ट क्लोज टू 200% पर ईयर का रिटर्न होता है, जो कि हमारे हिसाब से काफी जबरदस्त है, जिसकी वजह से हम ये काउंटर पसंद करते हैं।
So I think, Rajesh, we are about to conclude. We are at the situation. We already received significant responses and forms are still coming in. When the forms are coming in, I just hold the session for another 5 minutes. Yeah. So we'll wait for 2 more minutes. Please fill the form. Please fill the form before you leave. So only 13 participants. So when we come to 10, we will conclude the session. So thank you so much, Mr. Rajesh, for joining us today and giving a explanation on this session. It was really good learning for all of our investors. I think you should also talk to them about what is the nature of investment when it comes to startup funding. Of course, there are some risks and returns correlations. So, I mean, this really opens the mind of our people. Some people become little conservative when it comes to funding the equity or startup. So these things do matter for our investors a little bit, because every month we get 15-20 people who are newly joining. So those who have learned over and again, that's fine, but the new set of people, they want to know. So these sessions are, most of our investors also join this session only for the sake of education. It's like that.
Right. So overall, सपना जी, दिस इज अ वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन. हमेशा से हम यही बात करते आए हैं कि पूरी असेट क्लास की पूरी बिरादरी में, मतलब इन ऑल द डिफरेंट असेट क्लास, इवन इफ यू कंसीडर बिटकॉइन और क्रिप्टोज करेंसीज और द स्टार्टअप एसएमई वर्ल्ड, आप बाकी चीजों की भी बात करें, लिस्टेड स्टॉक्स, म्यूचुअल फंड में जनरली आपको 10 to 15% रिटर्न मिलेगा. एनीवेयर बिटवीन 6 to 12% रिटर्न आपको बॉन्ड्स, फिक्स डिपॉजिट्स में मिलेगा. और जो लिस्टेड स्टॉक्स हैं उसमें 12 to 18% बनेगा. ये एक ऐसी एसेट क्लास है जो सारी एसेट्स क्लास को, चाहे वो गोल्ड हो, रियल एस्टेट हो, सभी को बीट करती है. लिस्टेड स्टॉक्स, म्यूचुअल फंड्स, जनरली यहाँ पर 34% CAGR रिटर्न बनता है. हम थोड़ा ड्यू डिलीजेंस पे काफी मतलब हम ड्यू डिलीजेंस पे बहुत विश्वास रखते हैं, और 300 स्टार्टअप्स जो हमारे पास अप्लाई करते हैं उसमें से वी आर एबल टू चेरी पिक 1 or 2 कंपनीज. तो मतलब हमारा जो रिजेक्शन रेशियो है वो 99.5% से भी ज्यादा है. तो whenever we like a business, it's not easy to find good businesses at cheap valuations. तो जब कोई अच्छा बिजनेस मिलता है तो हम हेवीली इन्वेस्ट भी करते हैं, ताकि हमें अच्छा पैसा, हमें और हमारे इन्वेस्टर्स को अच्छा पैसा भी बन सके. तो रिस्क किसी भी बिजनेस में वही होता है कि अगर आप बिजनेस में पैसे लगा रहे हैं तो वो किस तरह के मार्जिन्स बना पाएगा, उनको उनका ऑर्डर बुक और उनको आने वाले टाइम में कैसी विजिबिलिटी है कि कंपनी कैसा रेवेन्यू बनाएगी, कैसा प्रॉफिट बनाएगी. जैसे मैं अभी VCI केमिकल का भी अगर एक नटशेल में बात करूं, फाउंडर का खुद का 145 CR लगा हुआ है. तो उसका स्किन इन द गेम हमारे से तो बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा है. हम तो उसको एक बहुत छोटी फंडिंग कर रहे हैं, जिसमें हम इन्वेस्टर का कोई 5 लाख, 10 लाख, 20 लाख लगा रहे हैं, या फिर इन टोटलिटी 20 CR दे रहे हैं. उसके कंपैरिजन में उसका खुद का, तो उसका जो ब्लड स्वेट, और मैं खुद फाउंडर के साथ मतलब आई हैव स्पेंड मल्टीपल डेज, और जितनी उनकी मतलब दे काइंड ऑफ डिटेलिंग विच ही हैज डन ऑन दिस प्रोजेक्ट इज एक्सट्रीमली अमेजिंग. वी फील इट्स जस्ट मैटर ऑफ टाइम कि अगले 4-5 साल में वो एक बड़ी इंडस्ट्री सेटअप हो जाएगा, और वो अच्छा पैसा अगले साल से प्रिंट करना स्टार्ट कर देगा. बेसिकली विल बी प्रिंटिंग मनी, क्योंकि आपकी सेल्स तो हो रखी है. तो जैसे जैसे आपका मटेरियल, आपका रॉ मटेरियल से आपका प्रोडक्ट बनता रहेगा, वो आपको पैसा लाता रहेगा. तो वहां पर हमें लगता है कि ओवरऑल फ्रॉम मार्जिन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, ग्रॉस मार्जिन, नेट मार्जिन, फ्रॉम विजन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, फ्रॉम फ्यूचर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, इट्स अ एक्सट्रीमली गुड बिजनेस टू बी इन. तो रिस्क पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से एज सच देखिए, वो जो रिस्क हो सकते थे इसमें वो सब कवर कर रखे हैं उन्होंने. दे आर ESG कंप्लाइंट. तो इन्वायरमेंटल, सोशल, कॉर्पोरेट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वाला जो पूरा पार्ट है वो कर रखा है. ग्राम पंचायत और जितनी भी गांव की वो जमीन वमीन इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया में है, वो सबका अप्रूवल उनके पास मिला है. इस अप्रूवल्स को लेने में भी उनको 1-1.25 साल लगा है. इसकी वजह से मतलब अभी तक तो नहीं तो पूरा प्रोजेक्ट सेटअप हो चुका होता. तो इसी वजह से जो जिसको बोलते हैं ना कि जो एक पेन होता है बिजनेस का इंडिया में स्टार्ट करने का, वो ऑलरेडी बियर करके कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं. दे हैव टेकन ऑल द नेसेसरली. तो देर आर अबाउट 12 डिपार्टमेंट्स जो जिनका अप्रूवल चाहिए था, वो सारे अप्रूवल्स आए हुए हैं. वी हैव गॉन थ्रू ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंट्स. तो फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू सब कुछ कवर्ड है, बैंक की तरफ से कवर्ड है, बैंक को भी अच्छा लगा बिजनेस, तभी वो भी 105 करोड़ डाल रहे हैं। तो उस पर्सपेक्टिव से सब सही है। पर कभी भी वैसे कोई एंजल इन्वेस्टमेंट करता है तो ये सब चीजें बहुत मायने रखती हैं कि आपका फाउंडर कैसा है, आपका कंपनी का एग्जिट स्ट्रेटेजी कैसा होगा, और कंपनी आगे पैसा बना भी पाएगी या नहीं। यहाँ पर ये है कि कैश फ्लो वगैरह सब अच्छा रहेगा, तो उस पर्सपेक्टिव में काफी अच्छी हैं चीजें। तो ये सब चीजों को हमें देखना है बिफोर टेकिंग अप एनी एंजल इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, इवन बी इट फॉर VCI, इवन फॉर द अदर काउंटर्स एज वेल।
So we have a question from Mr. Randhir Singh, and it is in the form he has filled. So he's asking, how can we monitor the price of the share when it is not listed? I think we have already answered. Again, you can answer. Second question, what he asked is, how about the surety on the amount paid? So capital guarantee, and how to contact if we want to sell the shares?
राइट, सो वही बात रणधीर जी, पहली बात कि आपका शेयर प्राइस हम अपने पार्टनर्स के थ्रू शेयर करते रहते हैं कि व्हाट इज द अपडेटेड प्राइस ऑफ द शेयर। सो वी कीप ऑन इन्फॉर्मिंग आवर पार्टनर्स, वो आगे आगे फर्दर अपने इन्वेस्टर्स को कम्युनिकेट करते रहेंगे, तो वहां से आपको कम्युनिकेशन आती रहेगी। दूसरा आपका कि कैपिटल गारंटी क्या है, तो देखिए ओवरऑल शेयर मार्केट में जब भी आप इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो ये कोई डेट बेस्ड फंडिंग नहीं है ना। जहां डेट बेस्ड फंडिंग होता है वहां पर होता है कि मेरे को 6% रिटर्न आ रहा है तो वो है। यहाँ पर हमने प्रोजेक्ट समझा है, बिजनेस समझा है, और उसके करस्पॉन्डिंगली हमने एक छोटा सा बेट लिया है जहां पे हमें लगता है कि रिस्क टू रिवॉर्ड हमारी फेवर में है। इसी वजह से हम वो इन्वेस्टमेंट ले रहे हैं या लेना चाहते हैं, है ना। इसीलिए हम इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं इसमें। ओवरऑल ये है कि क्योंकि बिजनेस में जिस बिजनेस में पैसे लगा रहे हैं, जो मैंने अभी बात कर रहा हूँ कि फाउंडर का इतना बड़ा स्किन इन द गेम है, और जिस तरीके से उसने पूरा बिजनेस को एनविजन करके एक एक चीज मेटिकुलसली पूरी पिरोई है कि कलिंग नगर पिक करना, 12 किलोमीटर की रेंज में सारे रॉ मटेरियल प्रोक्योर करना, 8 साल के लॉन्ग टर्म एग्रीमेंट्स साइन अप करना, टेक्नोलॉजी प्रोवाइडर्स को सारा कुछ सिलेक्ट करना, 34 एकड़ लैंड लेना, ये कोई मजाक नहीं है। जो उन्होंने 5 साल की मेहनत में पूरा सेटअप, पूरा रिसर्च किया है, अभी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन फेज शुरू हो गया है। तो हमें लगता है कि आने वाला टाइम अच्छा होगा, और बहुत ही अच्छा होगा इस कंपनी के लिए और इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए। अच्छा रिटर्न बनाएंगे, एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी रिटर्न बना लेंगे। और तीसरा क्वेश्चन क्या था?
Whom to contact in case they want to sell?
हाँ, so we will again, you can get in touch with B Invest, they will get in touch with us and we will
See,
help
the
you
whole
liquidate.
relationship that we have with Planify is they keep us posted about any developments in any of the products or any of the instrument that our investors have invested. So whenever there is any good or bad news, anything trending in that thing, we get an update from them, and we therefore pass it to our investors, specifically who has invested into that particular product. And whenever there is an opportunity to sell, so we get an insight from them, and we will be updating all our investors that okay, here is a good opportunity. It's like a right time to part from the shares and liquidate some cash, get some cash from. Right. So, do we have any more questions? We have only 9 people left, out of which three are our own people. So we have only 6 investors, and I think of them, some of them have already filled the form. So we are good to conclude the session now. I am just keeping the form link once again, my last habit of closure. So thank you so much, Rajesh ji, once again, and thank you so much, all the participants, to joining us for this evening. And we look
Thank you,
forward to
Sapna ji,
seeing
for having me here. Thank you all the people who have joined in. I know it takes a lot for someone to come and join the session, but hats off, good part. Yeah, you are in the right direction, moving at the right speed. I believe with all these investment, it will truly benefit you in long run. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye. Good night. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night.